Bienvenidos a Puerto Rico. Welcome to Puerto Rico, the Caribbean's shining star and commonwealth of the United States of America. A beautiful country, strong in Spanish roots, rich in culture, and blessed with wonderful people. Puerto Rico, the land the native Taino Indians called Borinquen, is home to angelic natural scenic wonders. Rainforests, waterfalls, rivers, caves, seascapes, and gorgeous sunsets. Since Columbus discovered Puerto Rico over 5 years ago, man has been changing her face. His indelible mark is seen through the construction of magnificent forts, skyscrapers, plazas, roads, or shopping centers. Today, Puerto Rico is a progressive blend of metropolitan sophistication and historical tropical pleasures. Let your culinary senses take flight and indulge in world-class cuisine. Let the adventurer in you loose to hike a tropical trail or find an empty stretch of sand and welcome yourself to paradise. Puerto Rico is a natural playground that offers 600 miles of palm-fringed coastline, while being 100 miles long and 35 miles wide. It encompasses 3,400 square miles, but is the smallest of the Greater Antilles. Its closest neighbor is St. Thomas, a United States Virgin Island, about 40 miles away. Puerto Rico lies 1,000 miles southeast of Miami and 1,500 miles south of New York. The flight time to Puerto Rico from Miami is 2.5 hours. From New York, 3.5 hours. Chicago, 4.5 hours. And from Los Angeles, it takes about 6 hours. Through Puerto Rico's international airport, about 3 million travelers pass per year, making it the busiest airport in the Caribbean. San Juan, capital of Puerto Rico, is a cosmopolitan blend of old and new. Centuries-old Spanish forts mingle with glamorous resort hotels, while narrow blue cobblestone streets that were once used as ballast in Spanish galleons now teem with traffic. San Juan is divided into two distinct sections, Old San Juan and New San Juan. Old San Juan is the only walled city in the Caribbean that can boast 4 mighty fortresses of the Spanish colonial empire. Old San Juan has over 400 beautifully restored buildings, many near 500 years old. Most other buildings, some only slightly newer, reflect a colonial-style Spanish architecture and are adorned with charming iron and wood balconies that cling to the pastel-painted buildings. Many have wooden doors shielding indoor courtyards draped in bougainvillea. Within the walls of Old San Juan, you can walk over ages-old cobblestone roads, climb stepped streets, and relax in shady plazas. Plaza Colón, at one time known as Plaza Santiago, pays tribute to Christopher Columbus with an imposing likeness of him atop a tall pillar. Waterfalls cascade at the entrance to the plaza, where a grand staircase leads to the statue. Nearby is Fort San Cristobal, the largest fort in Old San Juan. Once covering 27 acres, it was built to complement El Morro by defending the land side of the city. Began in 1634, it was built 150 feet above the sea in a position to defend the coast as well as to defend the city from land attacks. By 1678, the basic structure was completed. In the 1760s, Spain felt threatened by enemy forces in the Caribbean, so she declared Puerto Rico a defense station of the first order. 2 Irishmen in the Spanish Army were sent to Puerto Rico to expand and fortify the defenses. They incorporated the latest ideas in military design, and from 1765 to 1783, San Cristobal was developed into a complex of 6 smaller forts, supporting the central fortress. The 7 interconnecting forts were interconnected by an amazing complex of dry moats, passageways, tunnels, ramps, bridges, roads, battlements, turrets, and dungeons. The forts were separated by retreating lines into which Spanish soldiers could fall back if attacking forces could not be held at their outposts. The outer walls could be swept with artillery fire from other positions to prevent scaling by enemy troops. To capture the main fortress, an enemy would have to take the other 6 forts while under constant fire. At its pinnacle of glory, the fort was 6 times the size of El Morro. Below Fort San Cristobal is the old casino of Puerto Rico. Its cornerstone was laid in 1913 and was inaugurated with a grand ball in 1915. The Puerto Rican architects and engineers planned a casino in Puerto Rico that would rival the beauty of any social center in the world. Today it is used by the Puerto Rican Department of State for official receptions and social functions. Picturesque alleys add to the charm Old San Juan offers. This one is where Casa del Callejon, or Alleyway House, is located. It is open for tours. The wall that surrounds Old San Juan was begun in 1633 and completed in 1650, but work continued on it for 150 years. Its width averages as much as 6 yards, and its height ranges from 20 to 30 feet on the north side, and from 50 to 60 feet on the south side. Turrets were built to gain vantage points on anyone trying to gain a foothold on shore. The smallest chapel in the Caribbean is Christ Chapel, next to Pigeon Park. Legend has it that Christ Chapel was built in the 1750s because a man survived a miraculous fall. Pigeon Park was built in 1678 as part of the Bastion of the Palms. It acquired its present name from the hundreds of pigeons that live in the crevices of the surrounding walls. Here, the pigeons will boldly walk up and eat out of your hand. Nearby is Casa Blanca, a serene white house that was built for but never lived in by Ponce de Leon. Originally a wooden frame house, it burned down in 1521, shortly after his death. Juan Garcia Troque, Ponce de Leon's son-in-law, replaced it with the present masonry one, where his descendants lived for the next 250 years. In 1779, the Ponce de Leon family sold it to the Spanish government. It is now a museum illustrating 16th and 17th century Puerto Rican life. At the tip of Old San Juan is the El Morro Fortress. The fort was begun in 1539, but the main battlements were built in 1591 on the foundation of earlier defense works. Today, El Morro stands 140 feet above the sea, with 6 levels of gun emplacements designed so defenders could fire on enemy ships from any angle. Inside are barracks, cisterns, supply and storage rooms, dungeons, an armory, office plazas, and a labyrinth of ramps and stairways give access to any part of the fort. In 1595, El Morro was credited with preventing Sir Francis Drake and his 23 warships with 3,000 men from entering San Juan Harbor. The San Juan Cathedral was begun originally in 1521, but the one that stands today dates from 1809. Also in Old San Juan is the second oldest church in the Western world and a Dominican convent that dates from 1523. In front of the Dominican convent in Plaza San Jose is a statue of Ponce de Leon, Puerto Rico's first governor. At the center of Old San Juan is Plaza de Armas, the largest plaza. It is a visual break from the buildings that crowd Old San Juan. The Puerto Ricans enjoy their plazas and parks. At times, you'll see a traditional game of dominoes being played beneath the shade of a large tree, or two friends enjoying conversation and a sunset. If you enjoy cruise ships, the dock in Old San Juan is one of the busiest in the Caribbean. Tourists every day visit San Juan through this terminal. Near the docks is the Puerto Rico Tourism Office, where you can pick up information about Old San Juan and Puerto Rico. At night, the lit cruise ships make for a romantic backdrop to the charms of Old San Juan. Along with the charming Spanish architecture found in Old San Juan, there are also tempting shops. One can shop for bargains in an exotic tropical setting or just admire the beautifully restored Spanish buildings. Souvenir stores are located on most streets. Some offer a huge selection of goods, including t-shirts and gifts. Many purchases are even duty-free. Craft and art shops sell an interesting array of goods produced by local artists. Old San Juan is also where some of Puerto Rico's high fashion shops can be found. Across the causeway, New San Juan, on the other hand, is the most energetic metropolis in the West Indies. This is a city where grand hotels, wonderful casinos, and electric nightlife are just steps away from beautiful beaches. The financial hub of the Caribbean is located in Hato Rey, just outside of San Juan. This is where you'll find the modern skyscrapers that house the corporations such as Chase, Citibank, Banco Central, Royal Bank, Banco Popular, and many others. If you like rum, Puerto Rico is the place to be. Across the bay from Old San Juan is the Bacardi Rum Factory, the largest producer of rum in the world. Daily guided tours are offered, where one will see how rum is made. After the tour, you can enjoy a Bacardi rum drink on the house. Out on the island, as the Puerto Ricans refer to the remainder of the country, is where there are many wonderful places to visit and explore. It's a shame that most visitors to Puerto Rico never leave San Juan and its vast array of attractions to see the rest of the island, the traditional Puerto Rico. It is out on the island one can hike through jungle-like tropical forests, wonder at the sheer beauty of canyons, relax on uncrowded beaches, play a game of golf, and even tour a cave. Located about 45 minutes from San Juan is Puerto Rico's tropical rainforest, El Yunque. It is a thriving part of the U.S. National Forest System and a part of Puerto Rican folklore. Legend has it that El Yunque functions to protect the Puerto Ricans, and Puerto Ricans believe it did during Hurricane Hugo, bearing the brunt of the storm and deflecting it from destroying the entire island. El Yunque covers 28,000 acres and has an annual rainfall of 100 billion gallons. Nature lovers and hikers will love El Yunque. Hiking paths go for miles into the depths of the rainforest. Many include long cement stairways and even bridges take you through dense tropical jungle, waterfalls, rivers, palm trees. Flora and fauna virtually overwhelm you. Birds and other animals can be heard in this nature's wonderland. It is estimated that over 240 tree species and over 200 types of ferns call El Yunque home. If you like, why not go for a dip under a tropical waterfall? Or hike down a river and find your very own piece of paradise to sit and soak up the tropical scenery. Ocahu Lookout Tower sits perched off the road that winds through El Yunque. Here, what looks like a tall, skinny castle is actually an enclosed large circular staircase. Make the climb to the top to get a bird's eye view of El Yunque and the coastline in the distance. One of the newest attractions to Puerto Rico, and one of the most interesting, is the Rio Camuy Caves Park. Guided tours are available through the caves. They begin with a short movie giving some background to the Camuy Caves. Following the movie, a trolley takes you for an unforgettable ride that winds down a tropical road, leading to the entrance to the caves some 200 feet underground. The air quickly becomes chilly as one begins the guided tour through the enormous caverns. Stalactites and stalagmites are everywhere. Pools of water formed from small rivers and drips from ceiling stalactites fall all about you. If you're a cave enthusiast, the Kamui Caves are a must-see. Another one of the unexpected marvels Puerto Rico offers is the Arecibo Observatory. It is the site of the world's largest radio radar telescope. At nearby Utado, the Caguana Indian Ceremonial Park preserves stone monoliths and petroglyphs dating from 800 AD. There are also picturesque towns out on the island. Puerto Rico's second largest city is Ponce, a unique blend of historical and modern. Located about 2 hours from San Juan, Ponce will delight you with its traditional Puerto Rican flavor. Here, architecture runs the distance from Spanish colonial to ultra-modern. The center of town is where you will find the traditional Puerto Rico. Here you can find a small crowd by the corner hot dog vendor, or a businessman reading the morning paper while getting his shoe shined by a shoe shine man, a cigarette vendor, and lots of morning shoppers, and an old gentleman who needs to catch a few extra winks. Across the street, one will find Parque de Bombas, a wacky black and red striped firehouse that's a landmark and helps draw tourists to Ponce. Next to the firehouse is a beautiful fountain plaza, the perfect place to relax with a friend. A dignified cathedral, Our Lady of Guadalupe, dominates the central plaza. Gorgeous stained glass windows filter the light shining into the church. A mall that on sunny days moves things outdoors is across the street from the central plaza and a popular place to purchase merchandise. The Ponce Museum of Art is the best in the Caribbean. The Louvre and the Whitney in New York have borrowed from its 1,500-piece collection. It has sculptures from Italy, France, and Spain. Its exhibitions feature Latin American artists, but it's best known for its collection of pre-Raphaelite paintings. Ponce's new shopping mall showcases many beautiful and contemporary stores that will allow you to shop till you drop. The food court has a mural depicting the history of Ponce. A modern architectural beauty, the mall is the newest on the island. Indoor courtyards with large overhead skylights allow light to reach the abundance of plant life, and beautiful works of art adorn many areas. Puerto Rico offers some of the world's best location for surfing and windsurfing. The varied coastline offers the largest and most consistent surf in the entire Caribbean region. Fajardo is a popular area where local surfers can be found waxing up their sticks or bullshitting. On the west coast is Rincon, Puerto Rico's best surfing spot, and the site of international championships. Dedicated golfers have hailed Puerto Rico as a Scotland in the sun. Out on the island, you'll find 9 18-hole courses and 5 9-hole courses. Hyatt Dorado Beach and Hyatt Soromar Beach have 4 courses, all tournament quality, all having been designed by Robert Trent Jones Sr. Cockfighting is Puerto Rico's national sport. Although it's illegal in the United States, Canada, and many other countries, it is very popular here. Cockfighting is a sport in which two gamecocks, or fighting roosters, battle each other in a fight to the death. Held in various special arenas around the island, this popular sport is not for the queasy nor the animal lover. Club Galistico, near the El San Juan Hotel and Casino, is the arena our cameras went to. Once inside the arena, if you've never been to one before, you'll notice that it's quite an elaborate sport. 100 or more cocks may fight throughout the day. The gamecocks are especially bred to achieve physical power, speed of movement, courage, and the killer instinct. They are usually brightly colored and have spurs on their legs. But breeders generally trim the spurs down and attach artificial spurs to the gamecock's legs. The spurs are usually razor-sharp steel or brass. The birds use these weapons to slice and stab their opponent. The cockfight takes place in an enclosed pit, and spectators place bets on their favorite gamecocks. Experts at the beginning of the day pair up the cocks so as to be of equal strength, weight, and speed. At the start of the fight, handlers hold the birds firmly and allow the birds to peck at one another. When the birds get mad, they are released and the fight begins. Puerto Rico has 272 miles of sun-drenched beaches. You'll quickly find out that one of the most popular activities is finding a patch of sand and soaking up the wonderful Puerto Rican sunshine. Puerto Rico's beaches are truly magnificent. It's no wonder visitors return again and again for the sun and sand. Days can be spent just relaxing by the Caribbean or in the Caribbean. One of the most well-known is Luquillo Beach, about 45 minutes from San Juan. It's known for its rows and rows of palms lining the beach. Isla Verde Beach, behind the glitzy hotels in Isla Verde, is one of the most popular stretches of sand. Here, locals play the popular game of whack-ball, while others just party. The beach is the place for all different types of activities and sports. The beach scene is where people come to meet friends, relax under the warm tropical sun, and be seen. Ow! As the ruby red sun sets into the horizon and the day comes to an end, Puerto Rico's nightlife spins into action. Puerto Rico is as busy at night as it is during the day. If you're into Latin music, merengue bands play at most clubs on weekends. Skilled bartenders will whip you up a tropical concoction you're sure to enjoy. Modern discos will let you dance the night away. If gambling is your thing, there are plenty of casinos located in the hotels where you can let Lady Luck run its course. Give the dice a fling. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. Try a hand at blackjack, and something special might turn up. The game of roulette awaits those who field the lucky numbers. Winner! And the one-armed bandits will offer you a fortune for just a coin. Puerto Rico, proclaimed the Caribbean's shining star, and rightly so. A masterful blend of metropolitan sophistication and historical tropical pleasures. Visit her once, and chances are you'll visit her again and again.